Now, the other thing that we've done, and somebody else is going to talk about localization. Now, so if you're doing an iPhone application, I would strongly encourage you to put effort into localizing your app. And the only thing that you really have to do is your text strings, that you put that all into one directory. And then you just, you take that file, the text file, and just translate that into whatever languages you want to support. But all the other settings, the regional settings, time settings, calendar formats, it's all handled by the iPhone. So that's very, very nice. It's probably the easiest platform for you to localize for, and you should take advantage of that. So if we go to general settings, I'll just demonstrate that. You go to language, and let's say Italian. We just recently turned this into Italian. So we can even rename our application. So Carticipate comes from participate, and the Italian version of this is carticipate, and so now you notice that I didn't set the regional settings in the global in the settings, but all the whole app now is in Italian. All right. Let's see. Oh. New locations, contact list. One other thing that we added in here is if you do have a ride and you want to let others know, you can generate an email. It won't do it here, but it'll basically generate an email saying, I'm going from Palo Alto to San Francisco at a time, at such and such a date. Do you want to participate with me or join my Carticipate network? And so you can let others people let you know about. And it also gives you a Google link as far as the route that you're taking, so you can email that to your friends. So even if they don't have iPhones and they're not on the Carticipate network, you can let others know, what your travel plans are with this application. So is there any questions anybody has right now?
Is it just the Bay Area at the moment?
No, it was launched 2-3 weeks ago in 62 different countries. If you download the app now, it's available in French and German, and Italian is going to be in our next release whenever Apple approves our 1.21 release. So what's that? Yeah, we just crossed on Saturday 10,000 downloads, and 1,000 registered users as of 1,058 registered users as of 2 hours ago when I checked. Yeah.
Any kind of user ranking? This guy was a good ride. This guy was a crappy ride.
That's probably one of the most biggest frequent requests that we get from people, and so there's a lot of things that we want to add, and that's high on our list. So that will be coming.
Since it's a free app, what is your business model?
Well, I don't want to sound like Web 2.0 from 2 years ago, but at the end of the day, a social networking app is only valuable if you have a lot of users. So any discussion of a business model right now would be purely academic, because unless you have a virally growing social network, there is no business model. But the company right now is more focused on immediate revenue. So we're talking to larger companies that can easily leverage this technology for their employees. And so we're looking for more immediate revenue because the financing, funding standpoint of view from angels or venture capitalists is kind of tough to come by. And we think our efforts as far as getting enterprise revenue or customer revenue to keep us happily employed is probably a better use of our time right now. But for the longer term, obviously, if presuming that you have a virally growing network, there's all kinds of ways that you can monetize that. Advertising on our web pages would be one, but we think that there's other opportunities besides advertising. Potentially partnering up with insurance companies, that if you become a Carticipate member for $10 a year, you get special discounts at Esurance or Hertz rental cars. Who knows what. So then there's a lot of event organizers that could use that technology. So there's all kinds of things that we're thinking about. But right now we're mostly focused on making this useful, making it user-friendly, that people like this, and make participation grow.
Any concerns about safety for drivers and or passengers, or any legal issues with facilitating unlicensed taxi operations, something like that?
Well, there was just a company that was sued in Canada for violating taxi and transportation laws in Ontario. And one of the things that this company did is that it tried to get in the middle between riders for them to do monetary exchange, and they would get a piece of it. So I think that's probably one reason they got in trouble. You know, in the U.S., we kind of live in a fear-based society, so everyone, you know, I think more in general thinks about, you know, some murderer is going to get in their car. And in Europe, we find that, you know, this is a concern that's just not even a concern. So it's more of a cultural issue, I think, than it's a technology issue. Yeah, I mean, there's inherent risk of you getting up in the morning. But what we try to, our philosophy here is that when you post your profile, you post your picture, where you work, and your phone number. So it's not kind of some anonymous email or text you're going to get. You're going to talk to the person before you get in the car. And the idea here is that you develop relationships and really use this tool with people you already know. Or at least you get to know them, but you still have to make a decision every time you ride with anybody, you know, that those rules still apply. We can't, you know, help or diminish that. Go ahead.
Can you talk about why you decided to do this as an iPhone app and not just as a Web 2.0 web page?
Well, the thing is, ride sharing and carpooling has been, you know, advocated for 30 years, and there's been websites out since the 1990s that you know promote ride sharing. The problem with ride sharing is that it's a logistically intense problem. And the thing is that even if you do ride sharing with 2 people and then 3 people, becomes even more difficult. Is that it becomes very rigid as far as what your schedule is. And this tool, because it's location aware, it allows a new dimension to that coordinating logistical effort, in that the phone, you know, knows where you're at. You can make changes to your schedule. You can immediately update your schedule, and you're not dependent on being in front of your computer to make that. So, so that is what why we chose the iPhone. Yeah. Sorry, you'll be next. Yeah.
Once you make like you enter your information, can you pick who you want to ride with you? Does it present you a list of people involved with you, or does the service put it together for you?
No, no, no. You just get a result of searches. Oh, I didn't show this to you. If you pick on, let's say, this particular individual, all right? So you see the details of that person. You can look at their photograph. You can see what they wrote, and then what you do is you call them. Then you pick up the phone. You don't do any. So we don't do other than just giving you the information. What you do with that, that's up to you.